Hello, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about what a Roth IRA is and why you should invest in one as soon as possible. A Roth IRA is an individual tax advantage retirement account. So it's not through your employers and it's different from your 401k. It's also tax advantage. So you pay taxes on the money going in, so you don't have to pay taxes when you pull it out. The catch-22 here is that you do have to wait until you're 59 and a half to pull this money out since it is a retirement account. Roth IRAs are similar to traditional IRAs. The difference is only when you pay the taxes. So with a Roth IRA, you pay the taxes before you put the money in, so then when you take the money out, it's tax-free. A good rule of thumb to follow if you're unsure you need a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA is to remember Roth IRAs are best suited for individuals who believe that their tax bracket will be higher when they retire. So maybe you're just starting out in your career. Your tax bracket will be higher at the time of retiring, so a Roth IRA would be more suited for you. Roth IRAs are amazing, but there are some limits. So with a Roth IRA, there's the 5-year penalty, so you have to keep your money in the account for 5 years before you can pull anything out with no penalties. And it gets a bit tricky when you want to pull money out because you do want to wait until you're 59 and a half, so you're avoiding all the tax obligations and penalties, but you can pull out part of your principal, so part of the money that you put into the account, you can pull some of that out and not have to pay penalties on that. Another limit to Roth IRAs is you can only contribute $6,000 per year. Unless you're over the age of 50, you can contribute $7,000 because you're closer to retirement. But generally, you'll have to follow that $6,000 limit. And if you make too much money, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. If you make more than $140,000 a year, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. There is a way to contribute to a backdoor Roth IRA. Essentially, you contribute to a traditional IRA and then you roll it into a Roth IRA, but you only have to do that if you exceed the income limits, which most people in their 20s are not going to be making $140,000 a year. I mean, maybe, but I'm not, so I can contribute to a Roth IRA. But the sooner you start contributing to a Roth IRA, the better your chances to have a more comfortable retirement. So the top 3 benefits of a Roth IRA is the tax advantage, the liquidity, and the flexibility. So let's go over those. The tax advantage, we already talked about that a little bit, but it's the number one benefit, in my opinion, of a Roth IRA. Watching your money grow tax-free is incredible, and although there are some limitations, as long as you follow the rules, it will only benefit you in the long run. So the next benefit of a Roth IRA is the liquidity. As I mentioned before, it can be a bit confusing because you want to leave this money to grow. You want to leave it and not touch it at all. But if there is an emergency and you need money ASAP, you can take out part of your contributions. Let me explain a little bit. Let's say you contribute $6,000 to a Roth IRA and that money grows to $12,000. You can withdraw your initial contribution of $6,000 with no taxes or penalties at any time. This is not the case with traditional IRAs and 401ks. Another great benefit of Roth IRAs is the flexibility. There's no minimum balance required, and as long as you don't exceed this $6,000, you can contribute as much as you want whenever you want. And there are no RMDs. Essentially, an RMD is the amount of money you have to take out each year. But with a Roth IRA, there are no RMDs, so you can leave your money to grow tax-free and pull from your 401k or your other retirement accounts. Roth IRAs are extremely easy to get started. A lot of brokerages and even banks have them. I personally go through Vanguard, but there are so many other options. All that matters is that you get started as soon as possible and start investing this money into your retirement. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. Like and subscribe. Let's make money moves together.